Howdy folks, this is how you create a cool travel map / Indiana Jones map effect inside After Effects. Going to go new composition. I'm going to import the vector file for the map. I found this one online for free. Press S on my keyboard and just scale it up. You'll see that there's blurry. Click this cog icon here. So we have our comp here, and I'm just going to move our map around till I find a country I like. So because I'm from the UK, I'm going to do United Kingdom because it's an adventure. Let's go to India. I'm going to make it 3D. By clicking the cube icon here, and then I'm going to go up to the pen tool, get rid of the fill, maybe do about a 12 stroke, we'll see how that looks, and change the color to red. So make sure the map is deselected, and then using the pen tool, I'm going to click from UK, click India like this. The red line looks a bit thin, so I'm just going to increase the stroke until we have something that's quite visible. And I'm actually going to change the line cap to round. Selecting our line, we're also going to make that 3D by clicking the cube. And then I'm just going to go to my effects and presets and apply a drop shadow. I'm going to increase the distance, increase the softness, turn down the opacity slightly. And this gives us a nice sort of 3D line effect. Then if we go to the lines drop down menu and go to add, we can add a trim paths. If we go to the 0 second mark, go on the drop down menu for the trim paths, keyframe the end and type in 0. And then if we move to about 12 seconds in the timeline, just type in 100 and keyframe it. Highlight those keyframes, right click, keyframe interpolation, Bezier. And then let's go to our trusty speed graph editor. And then we can begin slow and speed up in the middle by playing with these velocity arms so it's a smooth arc like this. Decrease this keyframe, pull it to 8 seconds, and then we just got a bit of a faster animation. And then I'm going to pull the workspace scrubber and then trim comp to work area. Okay, that's a nice pace. That's cinematic. Next, I'm going to import this silver plane that I just generated in ChatGPT. I'm going to drag down the timeline, and it's facing the wrong way. So what I need to do is flip it. Layer, transform, flip horizontal. There we go. And then I'm just going to zoom in here, press S on my keyboard, and let's just scale it so it sort of matches the line. I'm going to copy and paste the drop shadow from our line. Command C and then just Command V on the plane. What we need now is the plane to follow the red line. So go to After Effects, Settings, Scripting and Expressions, and then tick the box, Allow scripts to write files and access network. Okay. Window, create nulls from paths. On the line we drew, going to go to Contents, Shape 1, Path 1. Click on the path here and go Trace Path. And then it creates a null. The null object follows the line, but it sort of flies on its own accord. So all we need to do is highlight the keyframes on the trim path end animation that we made from 0 to 100. Click the progress keyframes on the null, delete those, and then just copy and paste those trim path keyframes. And then now it follows the line perfectly. And then all I'm going to do is parent whip the plane to the null, and then now it follows it perfectly. The whole point of this composition is just so we have the solid animation sort of locked in. So I'm actually going to highlight all these layers, pre-compose, and call it map animation. Right click, go composition settings, call this one camera animation, go to width, that's 3840 by 2160. Okay, what I'm going to do is click this cog icon here, and I'm also going to make it 3D as well. And I'm going to right click here, new camera. We're going to do a 35mm camera, f-stop, do 0.2. Okay, I'm going to use these camera tools up here. There's orbit, move, and dolly in. I'm going to go to the camera options and change the focus distance. And we can change the resolution to full as well, which helps us see. I'm going to use the dolly in tool on frame 1, and I'm going to line it up so the plane is sort of like in the left hand side like this. So we're going to go to the drop down menu on the camera. On the transform tools, I'm going to keyframe position, point of interest, and also orientation, X rotation, Y rotation, and Z rotation. Just keyframe all those elements. And then I'm going to go to the end of the 8 seconds, and then I'm going to move the camera with this movement camera tool here. A nice animation of it flying across now like this, but we want to make it a bit more dynamic, so I'm gonna dolly outwards like this. So using the orbit tool, I'm also going to pull it down a bit, play with the Z rotation as well, so you just get something cool. So I sort of ended up with this UK starting a bit more top left, and then as it goes across, I sort of do a bit more of an orbit out to the right across to India like this, which I think looks pretty good. We're going to fix the focus, so I'm going to keyframe the focus distance, change the focus until our image is in focus, like the plane in the map. Okay, great. And then I'm going to go to our ending point in India. And then we're just going to do an almost like a rack focus. Okay, so you have this beautiful animation of the camera following the plane. That's all good and locked in. We're in this comp here, and then I'm going to right click, go new, light. And we're just going to add a bit of extra dimension. So you can use the eyedropper tool to get a color from the map. So I've done this light beige, intensity about 126, 120, cone angle 116, cone feather 66, and make sure it's a spotlight. We want this sort of pool of light effect like this. We go okay and reposition the light on frame 1 of our composition. I want to put the light over the plane, and it sort of gives the illusion that this is like a map on a desk. Drop down, transform, keyframe, point of interest and position. And then I'm just going to go along to the end where it goes into the blackness, and then just move the position of the light. There we go. That looks really cool, because then the other countries sort of fall off into shadow. So we've got our plane flying, got the light and the camera animation. Gonna highlight all these elements, right click, call it a final blur and color, and then I'm going to duplicate it, go to the ellipse tool, double click the ellipse, in effects and presets, find camera lens blur, apply that, increase the blur radius to about 21. On the mask, invert it, press F on the mask from mask feather, and then increase the feather by quite a lot. And also we can decrease the expansion to pull in the blur closer to the middle, and we can also just right click, add an adjustment layer, add a final curves on it just to help raise those mids a bit, pull those shadows down a bit, final glue to the vintage effect. Everything's quite similar textures and colors, so I just want it to pop a tiny bit more. So I'm going to go into our map animation, the original composition, and I'm going to add a glow. Our trusty glow. I'm going to put it on the plane, just decrease the threshold a bit, expand the radius a bit, and then we can just cross-reference it with our oh yeah, look at that. That's cool. Looks like it's shining under the light. That's how you do an Indiana Jones / travel map effect. So voila.